So I love using flat wash brushes. I find them most versatile, fun, easy to use, and they create the most interesting, paintings. I love using them in my abstract watercolor florals. I love using them in simple, easy landscapes. You can use them in still lifes, objects. Here I'm just showing you how simple it is to create a sunflower. And in this tutorial today, I'll show you how to make some sunflowers. I'll be going over it step by step, as you see here in the painting. But I just love the way that they can move, and if you manipulate the brush to create the strokes that you want. That's the fun part of it all. Seriously. I'm really interested in seeing what you guys think about these type of brushes, and what brushes are your favorite kind of brushes. Please leave a comment in the comment section about what your favorite brush is. I'd love to hear what's the one that you use the most. I like to play around with different ones. As you can see, this is a smaller version of the flat wash brush that I showed you earlier, and this one's like on an angle a little bit. It's good for shading. I find you can easily just stick in some nice flat color with this kind of brushes. See, I'm just putting in the black center of the flower. It's just very versatile. It's fun to use. It's fun to play with. You didn't think you could paint a lemon with a flat wash brush, did you? Hell, you can paint anything with it. Look at that. I'm just doing this demonstration really quickly, how I paint a lemon with this. As you can see, I can move it around pretty easily. You have to try different brushes and different papers and different paints. All these things help you create your style and help you grow as an artist. All these tools are there meant for you to learn and to grow. And so hopefully you learn something from what I like to use today. So these brushes are the most versatile brushes that I use for making my loose watercolor, landscapes, bunch of different things, as you see in the intro. And I want to show you what I think, what's great about them, and like how I use them to make some florals and stems and whatnot. So, try different things. These brushes are great. You might not like them, but I love them, and I'm going to show you why. All right, let's go over some supplies that I'll be using for this flat wash tutorial. I have a new 3/4 inch Princeton Velvetouch series flat wash brush. Just got this, it's new. And a new Princeton angular shader. That's 3/8 inch Princeton Velvetouch series. This is just an old craft 3/8 inch brush. There's no name on it. Look, it's taped. It's not the best brush, but Arch paper, 100% cotton, cold press, taped down with some Scotch magic tape just on a thick piece of cardboard. I'm trying to show you more of the water jars. People are complaining that they were not seeing me dip the paint in the water and vice versa. So I use multiple jars of water, which you should use. You should have one that's completely clean and one that's not going to be clean. So you're going to be cleaning your dirty brush in the dirty one back here, grabbing the clean water from here. I use this spray bottle to activate my paints, because they do dry out, and I do add new paint to it. So, and then my palette. And all the paints and colors, I talk about them as I use them, and they're always in the description box. So we'll start off with the big guy. This is the 3/4 inch. You can just get a flat wash brush in any store. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, so many places. You'd be surprised that, it's just not that expensive. I don't even know how much I pay for this. And the trick is just to maneuver the brush, holding it certain ways, So let's just start off by painting maybe with like a sunflower or flower. I'm grabbing some yellow. This is pretty intense. This is cadmium yellow deep. I have like brilliant orange here. I'm gonna grab some of that, put that over here. And I have both on my brush now, as you can see. Now at this point, I grabbed some water from here. I grabbed some water and I filled it in here. And I go back and grab this yellow here. Grab water and make it wet. And we're just going to start off by making these. See how I'm holding it upward? Upward like this. So I'm holding it upward. I'll show you on an angle. I'm pushing to the left, push to the right, and you've got your petals. See? Push. Just the way you push down. I love it because it has a point. You can make these nice points in the end. You're just kind of pushing the paint. I don't want the sunflower to be this whole big front facing one, so I'll do like a little side petal and a couple petals like that. Right? Grab some more water. Again, I'll be playing around with pushing the brush. This is another one on the side. And create some really fun, simple strokes. You know, I do this a lot with my abstract watercolor painting. Grab some of this orange while we're here. While we're hanging out with the sunflower. A little bit on the corner of the tip of the brush. Grab some burnt umber. See, I tap back on the paper towel if I feel like it's too much paint. Just a little bit. The consistency of that burnt umber is pretty concentrated, but your brush is wet. So you're just going to grab a teeny bit. Teeny bit goes a long way to create that look, because it's very damp still. And grab it on the corner again. If you want to put a little bit brown on some orange. See, I'm kind of twisting it and pushing it out. Now, I'm just using this one brush. I can use this one brush for this whole entire painting. I don't need to have any other brushes. But it's good to play around with different sizes. I'm grabbing orange, grab a little of this bright rose. Just make it brighter orange. See? Pushing, pushing. Again, the edge of the brush. Little marks. Boom, boom, boom. Orange. Let me grab back some more yellow. You can make some petals a little bit darker. Look at that. All right, I don't want to get too dark on that. Moving on, I can make some other. See how I'm going to clean my brush in this one back jar? We can make some other prettier color blooms. I didn't have any space up here from my brilliant rose, which is kind of like right here on the corner, a little bit of it here. I'll put it up here. There's magenta there too. Grabbing some water, getting it really loose, and if it's too loose, I'm always tapping on the paper towel. So let's make some fun, like almost like poppy floral strokes. Again, push down and then kind of connect. It's this movement. You can go like this, up, back, and forth also. See that? Really simple. I'm going to do a little half one. Kind of like, and it's going to be like kind of like a half of a circle. And you see those little marks that leave that little space? It's perfect for this. And just put a little one. Boom. I've got that half floral. We'll add some more values and lines in a bit. And another one up here. Right? We're going to be building our flowers. Well, this is still damp. You can go in and add some deeper color. See? Now, it might separate, which is kind of great. And then you can use that for streaks and lines. See how I can see the lines that created from the separation? Use it to your favor. See? See, there's separated lines. Because the brush separated the bristles. So it's going to be dry paint. Taking that watercolor, grabbing some of that bright rose. Oh, got a little purple in there, a little blue. That's okay. You can take the edge, which is some concentrated color, which means there's hardly any water at all, and make those same lines. You see that? You can add a little magenta, make it a little bit darker. Kind of going on the outside of the petals. Maybe a little bit darker down here. This is how you play with these kind of brushes. Same thing here. I would do the darker one on the inside petal, and then the bottom back here. See, I'm grabbing paint still on this brush and making those lines. Just keep playing. Can add a little, I got a little green for just a little shading. I want to keep it light and bright though. At this point, I might start putting in some greens. So some stems. I have a dark green mixed up here. I mixed it with peacock and yellow and a little Prussian blue. And keep playing around with your, and I might add a little burnt umber into it. See? Twist, twist, pull the stem down. Twist, twist, pull the stem down. That would be a dark stem. And grab some water. I'm grabbing the dirty water because it's going to go in that paint. Now, if you wanted a bright color, don't grab the dirty water. Clean up your brush and grab the clean water. That's how it gets muddy. See how I twisted this brush? In the sound effects. And that's how I make these kind of cool. You know, you can go in and grab that green that we mixed. The lighter green is the same green without the Prussian blue. So it's peacock and yellow. And you just keep adding one or the other to make the color tone that you like. See? And then make those little marks sticking out. Right there, simple bouquet using a flat wash brush. These are so much fun to play with. I love how you can get these nice sharp straight lines. And then you can kind of just wiggle the brush. See that? I'm going to grab some more water. Get it loose. Wiggle that brush. Put some more stems out this way. And some leaves. Super simple. Some people will say it's really hard. I don't believe it's so. You can hold it like up and hold it straight up and down. See? And then you're getting that line. The trick is to lift your arm up and back. Grabbing some ultramarine blue. I'm going off the page, as you can see. I'm going up and off the page here. You want to make your design interesting at the same time. Grabbing some yellow. Pushing down on the side. Push, push, push. Push. Look at that. Right? Grab some blue, more of the peacock blue, which is kind of like a turquoise. Make an interesting green here. You want to have different kinds of greens. You can go in and start to use the smaller one, right? Take that, oh, I had color on there. If it starts to get muddy in your color, you just kind of clean out the little palette. Now I've got clean water. Oh, I thought I had clean water. There's that bright rose again. And I'm going to do some of those lines. Has a little blue on my brush for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I used it a while ago and still had some on there. So I'm cleaning it off. And again, just putting these little lines kind of downward. Take the tip of that. This is a smaller one. If you feel like you have better control with the small one, you can do the same effect. See, I'm adding the darker value here, which is just more concentrated paint. I can take some, you know, maybe green or something, or blue, Prussian blue, get a little darker in here, something in here. Adding in the deeper values so the flowers really stand out. Going and grabbing some more concentrated, see? It's a little dry. The brush lends itself to make those little cute little lines, which I love. And then you can just go in here also, hold it on its side. Make those little squiggly lines. I like to do little squiggles on the outside of the petals. It doesn't have to be the same color. You can go in and use ultramarine. Do the same thing. It just adds a different interest to it. See, I'm going to grab it, holding it on its side. It's on an angle, the brush itself, but doesn't mean you have to be on an angle. This paint is not activated enough. So yeah, you go like this. And a little dark. Don't always want to add just the same color value darker. You want to add some interest with a deeper color that is not the same color. And the same thing, you can go in here and you can make nice pretty leaves, petals. See, making a little different leaf here. I like the poppy leaves. This kind of funky, spiky kind of leaves. And then add some different value, bleeding in. All this good stuff. Adding in the deeper blue. The little brush can be great for putting in some veins into your leaves. Some lines. And before you ever do a center of a sunflower, you make sure you get all your lines, your nooks and crannies that you want to do. See, I'm just going to go in here. I'm adding some yellow, some orange, a little brown, doing the little lines from the center going outward, maybe a little more color in some of them. You want to get all that in before you put in your deep dark center. Get it out of your system, in other words. Because once you put that color in, you can't go back. I mean, you could go back, but it will bleed and it'll be kind of not pretty. So I'm going to put in my deeper colors that I want to. You can even add a little pink on there. There's no rules, guys. Okay. And then you would go in with your brush. Now I have them using neutral tint, and you don't have to use black. You can make black from all your colors. You can make black from blue with magenta and yellow. That's a deep dark brown and ultramarine blue. See? Or even Prussian blue. But, you know, don't be afraid to use that too. And then go in here and make your center. I always leave a little white halo. It's kind of my thing. And there's your sunflower center. You can have a dark center here. So, again, add a little black. So I'll do a center that's black, and then I'll add the little stamens. So this brush is great. You're just pushing down little lines. Just tapping it, tap, tap, tap. And then you take the tip of this, push down, boom, 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 like that. The sound effects and all. And you have those nice stamens that go around. Right, you can put a little black in here. And a little up in here. Little poppies. Look at that. And then to round it out, maybe add some like purple tones. So I have this Verdier blue, mix it in with this. I've got some colors all mixed in here. Or ultramarine blue with that bright rose. Makes a nice, really pretty purple. And ultramarine itself. Mine's got a little muddy up here. We'll just clean that. Try not to get your palettes muddy like that. There we go. Get this really wet. See, I grabbed my clean water now because I'm at the end. And just make these little, see, I'm just kind of pushing down on the edge of the brush. It might cause it to have some wear and tear, but that's okay. It just makes these nice little blooms that are easy to create. See? Pushing down this way. So here's the brush, pushing down this way. Just pushing down. Grab the ultramarine blue, kind of tap that in, that purple. You can also clean off your brush, grab the bright rose, and kind of tap that in between too. All these things you could do to make your painting interesting and fun. See, I'm adding some more purple blooms over here. Super simple, guys. You got these flat wash brushes, you're like, what do I do with these? And that's what you do with them. You play around with them. Obviously, you can make some stripes. And like if you had bricks in a building, super easy to make bricks. But no one ever thinks to make flowers with them. And I do, because I love the versatility of it. Grabbing all these blues and greens. Mixing all these colors in. Just kind of filling in some of the spaces here. Adding in some more stems. Now at this point, keep it as is. See, I'm going to just kind of tap in some of this color here. I'll keep this tutorial really simple and sweet. I'm just going to go in here and add some more color as I go. Grab some Prussian blue. Here we go. See? I always like to make the little marks with these brushes. So you notice that. So I might just do like crisscrossing marks. That's just my style. Not everybody wants to do that. Nobody wants these like haphazard like things flying out in the air, right? Maybe you want something a little more grounded. And I go in here and I add some more. This is Prussian blue mixing with the greens. Just play, 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 guys. See, taking more yellow, stealing the yellow from there. Okay, when I feel like, I like it, maybe I want to add more color in the back. This is where the big brush comes in handy again. You can just, you know how I've done this before, kind of push around the paint to get that really beautiful atmospheric, kind of floaty, abstract kind of look. See, I'm grabbing water, clink clank, and just kind of pushing around the paint. See what happens. You don't have to do that. It's just something I like to do. It's kind of fun. We got a little more yellow here. And just add some color too, by the way. You don't have to just keep it that. You can add some blues up here. This one's a little muddy, so I'm going to make it pretty. See? A little blue off to the side. Changing it up. This is the things that I like to do to make my paintings interesting. Not everybody wants to do it. You could have stopped right where you were. I'm going to grab some pink. And not have to add this whole other step. But these are the things I like to do. I'm going to add some green down here. I like the look of it. I don't know. It's just my thing. Again, personal preference. Playing around. And another thing is you can just keep it all in this section and don't do anything up here with the, maybe have a little bit of water up here. I'll have a little blue kind of bleeding in here. You know why I like this? Because I like to be expressive when I paint. And I feel like this looks expressive. You know, everyone has their own thing. And I'll add a little yellow. And it's fun to splatter a little bit too. Do it all. I like to do it all and play. So, flat wash brush, guys. Please play around with it. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid of it. I'm not afraid. You're not afraid. No one's afraid. Gonna go in here and kind of highlight the flower a little more. Yeah. And that's what we have. Please play around with your flat wash brushes. You know, I'm going to go in and play around even more. I might take some gouache that I have over here. I'm activating it. And I can highlight these little stamens that you might not be able to see. Just little dots. I'm using the flat wash brush next to them. You can highlight all kinds of stuff. Play around, have fun, don't be afraid to play. Yes, I mean, it's just a constant, you know, thing for me. I like to just add and subtract. Let me go back in here. Now, see how if you go back in after you've put the black in, you gotta be a little tricky. You gotta make sure it's completely dry. You can do it, it's doable. It's just sometimes people don't, you know, make sure it's dry, and then it starts to bleed and it gets a little bit ugly, and we don't want that. We want a fun, simple painting. I might take my Verdi blue, put in some little blue flowers here. This color is fantastic. So play around with the flat wash brush. Some little blue dots. Little blue dots over here. Adding them after I've already bled to the guild the other stuff. Just a nice fun addition. And even, heck, you can even put some color down here, the leaves. Don't be, set in your ways with colors. Add an addition of colors. Play around with things. There you go, guys. I hope this tutorial was educational for you to understand how to play around with flat wash brushes. Now I'll go back in as I'm talking to you. Just, take your time with everything. This is the whole point. Play with the different brushes. I always like to order different types of brushes. You saw my video of the brush that I thought was so silly. I might get a smaller, different brush than the one I got, the dagger brush. But I live and love to play with the flat wash brush. It's just something special about it. So you can create all these little stems. Voila! Thank you guys so much for stopping by my channel. Tell me which is your favorite brush. I really love to know. Put it in the comment section. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.